that my favorite part of the show is probably the shipwreck. We have a shipwreck that actually crashes on stage. It's like Phantom of the Opera when the big chandelier comes down and crashes on the stage. We have a shipwreck on stage.
And what do you think children should learn?
Lots of spectacle. Okay, good.
Okay. What made you decide of having the Little Mermaid production?
Why we chose this particular show?
Yes.
We chose this particular show because of the cast requirements. It had a flexible cast. We could make it with 12 actors or 40 actors, and never knowing exactly how many people are going to turn out. That's why we chose this particular show.
And what difficulty have you found along the way of trying to do this production?
Probably the major difficulty has been in creating the costumes so that they're reflect an undersea life, but yet are very visually interesting and are non-human, because we don't want the undersea creatures to be humanoid in physique. So yes, we've gone to great lengths. Kristen Grant has done a great job in designing our costumes and building them, and she came up with some truly exciting costume designs.
Okay, that's all I got.
Would you like your version of The Little Mermaid to be compared with the Disney version?
No, not at all. It's not the same story. And who can compete with Disney? My goodness. All right. So ours is a live performance, prone to all of those foibles that live performances are prone to. It will not be perfect, but that's what makes it so fabulous, is that it's not a perfect image of the story. It's got showing a human story.
That's towards the end. Let's see. What is your character in this production?
I actually play the villain, the main sea witch, and I am playing a woman, as far as the understanding has come to be, so that's pretty interesting, different, fun.
Can you give us a little taste of what your voice character is going to be like?
It's weird because it sort of fluctuates. She goes from sort of like this high, sweet thing to like the low menacing. So she'll come in and she'll be like, "Oh, sweetie, how good to see you. You haven't been doing anything wrong." And then at times she'll burst into anger, especially when like the character Clem will do something and she just gets really low and harsh and "How dare you do that?" and that sort of thing. So that's what the character's kind of like.
What have you learned from being this character?
I've definitely learned how to sort of walk like a woman. I've learned to stick my hips out, and overall, I think it's been more of an experience sort of learning the temperament of it, because I know last semester I played a villain again when we did Little Shop of Horrors. I was the plant, and all of that was just my deep, low registers. So I've really learned, I don't know, how to try to be menacing, but at the same time that sort of sweet and nice, but overall just ugh.
Which is your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show? I think I'm going to have to say my favorite part of the show would actually be the major scene of mine where Anemone comes down and she has to make the deal with me in order to get the legs to go up onto the surface, because it's a really fun scene that I really just get to go all out. I become sort of a tempter and like threatening, and I even get to sing a song. So I get to do the whole gamut of things there. It's my character at her best, just in her element, and I think it's a really fun scene to do because I just get to put on all of the evil charm that I can muster.
When you auditioned, did you want to get the part of the sea witch?
Yes, that's plain and simple. Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would
Anything I would like to add? I guess I want to say that I think this has been a really good experience. This is one of the larger casts we've had in recent history, and I think a lot of people will be interested in it because it's also brought in a lot of new talent into the theater. As a senior, it's refreshing for me to know that this play is like, I don't know, 60, 70% freshmen, maybe a little bit more. And I think that's nice because it shows that there's youthful interest in theater. And I think that's something we need more is our theater department is good, but we can always do better. And we need more people coming in to do that. And I'm glad to see that because it's something that's so important. And people don't generally realize how great theater is until you actually see it in person. There's just something about watching performances live that's so much more engaging than anything you'll find on TV, the internet, or otherwise.
How can you compare it to all other shows you did during your theater major?
Oh, that is that is a loaded and tough question. Because I mean, over the course of my history here at Wayne State, we've done a whole bunch of things. We've done some very serious shows, like one about a husband who was captured by terrorists. We did Funny Mears last year, which was just a wonderful but a quirky adult comedy where I had to play a guy with basically a split personality in the form of a puppet. And then we've also done like our children's shows. Like a couple of years back, I played a pirate. I mentioned before playing the plant. As for how it compares to the others, that's really tough to say. I think that this one definitely it's got a lot of more crew and cast involvement, which is really, really good. I mean, the show for itself, it's a children's show, so it's obviously not like complex or anything, but it's just out and out fun, and that's one of those things I know that I love personally, and it's an experience I've had before, and I'm glad that I'll get to have it again. There's really nothing sort of like the rush when you're backstage and the SpongeBob the SquarePants theme song starts playing over the speakers, and literally every kid in the audience starts singing onto it, and then you get to go on stage and entertain these children who just, there's no reaction more earnest or more rewarding than having children laugh, scream, whatever at what you do, because they're just so into it. Does that answer that question, sort of, in a roundabout way? Yeah?
Thanks.
Yeah? Cool. All right.
You don't have a choice, Miss Georgina. She don't want us.
Well, Prince Theodore, here she is, your anxious bride-to-be.
She doesn't look all that anxious.
Grab my hand.
Shall we begin?